Ethereum finally showing its major hand as it does pop up above 2,500. And I wanted to come back at this one, look at it on the higher term timeframes as we looked at this one over the past couple weeks here. And well, it was one of the more strong, and it looks like it is continuing to get more strong. So other than that, I want to welcome you back to the Air Crown Crypto channel. It's a nice little Sunday morning. It's Super Bowl Sunday. So Super Bowls to all of the celebrators out there. And let's just jump right into the chart view right on over here. Starting off with first the daily statistics. So looking at Ethereum right here, we do see that for the run-up statistics on the daily, it is typically an average of 3, meaning that when you do print consecutive green dailies, typically comes in groups of 3s. And even when you get out to four green dailies in a row, it starts to become a little bit more of an outlier, essentially at the 84th percentile level. So in this case, I did just want to quickly look at where we are. And as you can see, the run up that essentially began on the 5th of February, printed 1, 2, 3 green, 1 red, and then we are working on 1, 2, 3 green yet again. So in the very, very short term, does Ethereum play out maybe a short-term pullback from this region? Perhaps yes. I mean, I don't really have strong opinions on this, but ultimately the higher term timeframes do very likely take on over from here, as we can reference the weekly. And what do you know? The weekly has very, very similar statistics actually as well. In fact, a little bit more in favor of the upside. We do see again an average of 3 on the run up, but the 84th percentile would actually put us at 5 green weeklies in a row. The reason why I bring this one up is because not Ethereum is, because we're people and Ethereum is Ethereum, is in the process of printing 2 green weeklies in a row. So we're probably going to see, another one on top of that. And if we are going to see another one on top of that, Ethereum probably tests the high of this current rally, the January highs, and probably puts in new highs from there on this rally, as that does likely extend, especially when you are starting to get into sort of cycle defining moments. I do expect that we do see, on the upper end of that, similar to what we did see on Bitcoin actually as well. Anyways, let me just get my notes back on over here. There we go. Okay, so we looked at this one, I think it was either earlier this past week or the week before that, whenever the last time we looked at Ethereum was, and one of the major signals that was suggesting that Ethereum is overall strong and overall likely to continue on with this rally, which should have been a signal, at least for myself, for Bitcoin to do the same thing as well, was this major cross right here at the yellow 21 and the white 200 moving average, which has really only happened one other time in Ethereum's history, to the upside that is, of course, which was back on over here. And very, very similar posturing actually, as Ethereum was coming after this, massive accumulation range for the couple years prior. Ethereum pops back above for the first time in a couple years, and these 2 major moving averages cross. Ethereum essentially puts in, I have to fight every time that I say Ethereum because I want to say Bitcoin, but just so you know. But in this case, sets in a higher low right alongside that, which is very similar to what we're seeing right here as well. Cross especially happened. You see the test right here. This is also accompanied by hidden bullish divergence between this point, the lows of November, middle of November, and the low that we just witnessed over here in late January. So in mid-November, Ethereum was trading for reference at 1950. So this is a pretty wide divergence. And what you see on both the 5-day and the weekly, volatility is rather low, with our 5-day and weekly RSI breaking back into the bullish control zone. So I do look at this as, again, indicative of this rally continuing from here overall. And again, we're talking about relatively higher term timeframes, 5-day and weekly, that is. So it doesn't necessarily have to happen all in one day, but over the next month or so. Likely yes, again, especially considering what the rest of the market is doing. Anyways, now that we've gone through that. Oh, also one more momentum oscillator over here. We do see that the monthly jewel, again, is just that continuation. We've been calling this one out since basically November/December. Just wanted to say that, yes, it is continuing here, still supported by DMI. So overall, it's another pretty strong higher term time frame signal, especially alongside some of the lowest levels of volatility we've ever seen on this asset. And the monthly RSI is reaching back towards the bullish control zone, more or less after just putting in, this next higher low around the neutral zone. So, long-term good. Anyways, moving on from there, I did want to get into the bands analysis over here. So again, keeping in mind that the daily is kind of like on the lower side of timeframes that we've analysized today, we do see that the daily is actually already above the blue 50% of historic returns range highs. Again, that in combination with, our three, our run up statistics of 3 typically in a row, maybe on the upper end about 4, does suggest to me that in the short term, does Ethereum maybe play out a short-term pullback? It very easily could. How far can pullbacks come down towards before not really, or without really doing anything? Anywhere around 2450 is completely fair game. Not saying that it has to, but kind of similar to Bitcoin is like that we saw yesterday. It's like, all right, if it's going to pull back, this would be the time for it. 40, I think we saw a low of 46.8 or so. I said 46.5 yesterday, something like that. Kind of similar thing over here on Ethereum. It's like, okay, this in the short term is getting a little more hot. Obviously, do we see it play up first to 25.75 and then maybe come down, play at a bit of a short-term sideways range, and then continue upwards and onwards as we do see these stats over here start to reset? Perhaps yes, but ultimately it is a very high-term timeframes again that are, I think, the obvious ones. The 5-day time frame did close above the median on the HPDR bands that we saw from early February. So Mr. Bing and Senor Bong are once again at it for the Super Bowl, and we do see that the median has now actually jumped up significantly to 27.12. So I would not be surprised at all to see, even in this next closing period, which is the next 3 to 4 days of price action, a test up there. So it's like short-term pullbacks, are they that relevant if they even happen at all? Maybe not so much. It's a lot more likely to actually rise up here than anything else, especially with volatility reads like we're seeing as of right now. So putting 2 and 2 together, it's like probably upside in this one. At that point, would basically be testing the high of this rally. Again, the January highs, which was officially 27.16. I mean, at that point, you might see short-term pullbacks again, but very likely you are going to see continuation from there. And for reference, right now, the top side of the blue, of the blue range is 33.80. So if it does reclaim the median, it has a lot of room to run. It has a lot of room to run, I should really say. Anyways, on top of that, we are at, not we again, but Ethereum is at a pretty major inflection point on the monthly here. We can see that the median for the HPDR bands is coming in pretty much exactly where price action is right now, a little bit below actually, 25.11 to be exact. If Ethereum does reclaim this by end of month, so this is not relevant for today or tomorrow, but essentially Bitcoin, if Ethereum can remain above more or less 2,500 throughout the rest of this month of February, again, very likely you see this run go into the low 3,000s, and things can get a lot more crazy from there. But first things first, low 3,000s, like 32 to 3,300 are like, I would say, quite reasonable targets. Of course, if you see rejection here, right around 2,500, at that point, you get ready for the other side. Probably back down below 2,000 if that were to happen. But, with the way that the market's looking, I think that's less likely. But of course, you need to have areas, or at least I need to have areas where, one set of probabilities becomes a lot more likely than the other one. So in this case, that would be at 2,500 essentially. Yeah, it's a little bit above there, but fair enough. 25.11 if you want to be super fucking anal about it. Anyways, I think that might be a good time for me to leave off on this video. I actually don't know when I'll upload this video. I'm recording it on Sunday. I'm recording on Super Bowl Sunday, if you couldn't tell. Maybe I'll upload it today, but I'll actually be gone tomorrow, or not gone, but I'll be on a plane tomorrow. So I'll pre-record one of those videos for tomorrow, and then also just understand that if you're trying to reach out or anything like that, I'm just not going to be available for Monday, probably even a good portion of Tuesday as well. I don't know what my internet connectivity situation is going to be, but the airplane indicator is still undefeated, and well, it's coming in pretty damn soon. So we'll leave off on the video right there. Again, going back down to the daily, I did just want to make a quick note. Again, the very short portion of this analysis would be to say, hey, look, as long as Ethereum's above 2,400, upside is the answer, and short-term downside is just that short-term downside before getting ready for more prolonged upside. So yeah, we'll end it right there. As always, I want to remind you that if you find this content valuable or in any way meaningful or insightful, please do consider liking and subscribing. It massively helps out the channel. And also, I'd like to wish you the best. Take care, much love, and see you hopefully soon.